Kind of crazy when you hear some of the media people talking about Chandler Jones. I also said this about Antonio Brown. It's no longer football conversation any longer with the Raider. This got nothing to do with football. That man needs help and love right now. Where's the NFL Players Association? Jesus, criminy, man. It can't just be about sitting in the commissioner's lap. There's a player that needs your freaking help. Why aren't you sending, or why isn't the league, instead of arresting the guy, why aren't you sending medical personnel and people who can help his mental health? Because they don't give a shit. They don't care whether he puts a gun in his mouth or he quits or whatever. They never did, and they never will. They lie to you and tell you they care about us. They don't care about players. If they did, the commissioner of the National Football League wouldn't be the only non-owner with lifetime benefits. How does that guy who's never taken a fucking hit have lifetime benefits? How's that possible? Why does he deserve it? Oh, I know. Because he's America's best liar. It's a shame. I really feel for Chandler Jones. He needs compassion. Okay? Anthony goes, a crazy topic. Of course it's a crazy topic to bring up because no one brings up mental health issues with players with improper medical benefits. Sorry. I will always bring it up. It's a brotherhood, not just about playing in the league. It's about aftercare. You're damn right. Crazy topic because most people on the air have never played competitive sports in their life, and they would never understand. Anthony, have a great weekend, man. God bless you. See you, Anthony. Bye. God bless you. Anthony, bye. You're not forced to be here. You're not. I don't force you to be here. When does the NFL Players Association step up? Sad. Let me say something to you about that push play. Okay? You have someone fighting against you now that is totally, that is without a doubt going to be something that's going to take your play away. Peter King. Peter King has the ear of Rich McKay, who we're friends with. And you know that because he's been on the program. Okay? That play will not be, well, there'll be a variation of the play. Can I tell you what my wife said? Tone, I don't know if you will agree with this. You know what my wife said if they want to try to change it? So instead of putting, and I kind of agree with my wife's a rugby coach. She goes like this, it's not a scrum, it's a maul in what they do with how they're trying to push him across the line of scrimmage. She said it's not a scrum. She says, if that's me, I line up a guy like Derrick Henry on 4th and 1, and I line him up as my quarterback, and I use my power back to do that in case I don't want to use a $55 million quarterback where I potentially could get hurt. He's the second best ball handler on your team, usually outside of the center and quarterback, because they handle the football more than anybody on the field. Why don't you run the play with Derrick Henry? Just run the play with your top power back on 4th and 1. She goes, just take Hurts out and have, because again, do you really want to put a $55 million guy who's so important to your team? Do you want to put that guy in harm's way where he could have his foot stepped on, you blow your knee out, what have you? Right? You put a big back there and you snap it to your running back. And I'm not talking about shotgun. I'm talking about right up on. You're not stopping Derrick Henry in 1 yard with Jason Kelce or somebody like you're not stopping that. And you don't need any push. That's what the guy does for a living. That's what I would do. Because when you start talking about these $50 million quarterbacks, you start doing this. I might not want to put that guy in harm's way. Bleach goes, you're not stopping Hurts. Yes, they are stopping Hurts. You just missed the entire point, Bleach. You just missed the entire point. That play will be stopped. Because the league's going to stop it. You see, defenses can't scheme against it, so the league's going to stop it. You completely missed the point. Put different personnel in, is what we're saying. You completely missed the point on that. How many times did Brady get hurt running it? Okay? Have at it. Sills, if they ban the brotherly shove, it will only benefit the Eagles. The other teams can't do it. They can't do it now with the extra help. Chris, it hurts the Eagles because they're the only one that kills people with it. Okay? I mean, I just said that, Maxon. The play is going to be stopped because the league is going to stop it. You got to come up again. This comes back to once again evolving. You keep evolving. That's the one thing again. And again, when we talk about the offense, that when we talk about Jalen, it's not about there's only a certain ceiling. You know how you guys are all talking about Jalen Hurts getting to another level? There is no another level. Because there's not another level to that offense. Players playing better, maybe better situational play calling. The coordinator's got to get better. He does. Totally true. You know, I'm more apt to believe what you guys were saying about the coaching because just like Mike Golick said, it's predictable now. It's a one-read offense. That's it. RPO, it's a one-read offense. Anybody with any knowledge knows that, unless you're in Philly and you think that this guy is a progressive reader, and he's not. Never been. In his entire career. Before we get into week 4 here, Sam Howell versus the Eagle defense. And if you're Eric Bieniemy, how do you attack the Eagle defense? Okay? Do you know one advantage that he has going against his Eagle defense? Your corners don't play press coverage. They're not man cover corners. They play center field, which means free release, which means don't do 7-step, cut it down to 5-step, more rhythm timing. They'll always be open. The key will be the plus 25 play. The Eagles are great at not giving the plus 25 play up. That's what the entire integrity of the defense is built around. Pressure, don't give up the plus 25. Those are the two intangibles that they have and that they've done pretty well for 2 years. Your corners are center fielders. They don't. Again, guys, every guy that has played against the Eagles has put numbers up. Every guy. Evans with the 60 yards, not great. The 160 that Jefferson had, 159, the tight ends in New England killed you. I mean, so what they try to do is play everything underneath. Everything underneath. I don't think 8 catches, 60 yards is horrible. It wasn't great. It wasn't a Mike Evans. I thought Mike Evans would have more. But again, he was wide open. That's what I'm saying with McLaren and with the kid from Penn State on the other side. They'll be open. Every wide receiver that has played against you has been wide open. So, if you're Bieniemy, again, the run game, do I think that the Washington Commanders are going to be able to run the ball on the Philadelphia Eagles? No. They couldn't run the ball on the Buffalo Bills. And I don't think the Buffalo Bills have better interior tackles than what the Eagles have right now. I do not. Fletcher's playing great too, and so's Milton. Besides the two dudes that we've been naming all week. The whole entire group has played well. They're the best group on defense right now. So they can. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to get their backs and screen passes. What's the fastest way to slow up a pass rush? Okay? Fastest way to slow up a pass rush. The quick game, middle screens. QBs that can get rid of the ball fast like Jones and Cousins will light us up. That's what they're going to try to have to attempt. But what kills me about Washington, you had like 10-something carries for 107 yards or 13 carries for like 107 yards. And it's like you quit and you're averaging 8 yards a game. Now, I'll tell you this. The screen game, that's also going to do this to the linebackers with the Eagles. It's going to have them play deeper and not so tight on the ball, which could help their run game. To me, slot screens, middle screens, try to get them linebackers back off the ball. Because in my opinion, what Philadelphia is going to do, they're going to know this. Let's make Sam Howell beat us. Because I don't think Sam Howell can. Personally, I don't think he can either. Okay? I don't think he can. Now, it's going to be up to Eric Bieniemy to move these guys around. How do you move guys around if the quarterback is inexperienced? I'm just telling you what coordinators like. I sat in a room, and I was schooled by Dave Wannstedt, Buddy Ryan, Lamar Leachman, defensive coaches like that who sat with me and showed me how to get people open in what people were trying to do to you. Have you? I sat for 3 days, 2 years in a row with Buddy for 6 hours on how people try to get open, what they're trying to do, splits, what they're trying to do in counter trays, everything. Lamar Leachman, one of the greatest defensive line coaches, and the guy who coached Lawrence Taylor, coached me on how just a subtle 3-technique shade or a tilt can change the entire dynamic on a blocking scheme. Okay? I'm just listen. So what Del Rio, Rivera, then again, those guys beat you a year ago. I don't have to give those guys kudos. Okay? I don't have to give those guys source. I posted a picture with me and Buddy Ryan at the University of Miami. Go on my Twitter page. It's there. Go ahead. So, you tell me, if you're the Eagles, what's the one thing you're trying to do to him? Are you going to jam the wideouts? Who's covering McLaurin? Let's see. Bradbury? Probably. The kid Dotson, is that his name? From Penn State? He's pretty good. Again, like I said, this is a 31-17 game in my eyes. It's a 31-17 game. That's how I see the talent differential between the two. I think it's a 30, but I think it's a 28-20 ball game because it's a divisional game and you're on a short work week. Johan Dotson, kid's a pretty good ball player. I actually like him. Batman says McLaurin is the only one that scares me. You know what? Hey, Maniac, am I right? When I look at those numbers from a year ago in that Washington game, wasn't Washington's numbers very pedestrian? Like, were there like huge numbers? And I don't remember Washington having like some massive 200-yard rushing game or like a three. Am I right when I say that? There wasn't like 29 first downs or am I right? I mean, I don't remember McLaurin. Did he have 100 yards in that game? I'm talking to win. I don't remember anybody in that Washington game like with some psychotic game that had like did Heineke even throw for 200 yards in that ball game? I did he? I don't remember. I don't remember them. I just don't remember the numbers that were in that ball game. Last year, we had 9 sacks against Washington in the first game. I'm talking about the loss. I know you rolled them in the first game. Okay? Heineke was averaging 2-1, JM. Is that on his release to get the ball out? So they went quick pass. That's probably what they're going to try to do. McLaurin had 128 yards. Maniac, did he really? All right. Everyone else under 28. Still 128, one guy? I mean, they had the ball for 40 minutes. So did they run the ball? I just don't remember. And Quan, once again, not understanding stats because stats. So, hey, Quan, you think time of possession and rushing matter? Or is that just a stat too? Let's see how smart Quan is here, right? Right, Tone? Hey, Quan, you think time of possession and turnovers and rushing yards, that's a stat, right? 152 rushing. Wow. Okay. So Quan, just asking, you think time of possession and rushing, you think those stats matter? Or no? Those stats don't matter. Turnovers, that's a stat. Okay? Boy, look at, hey, I love what Quan just said. Last year's stats mean nothing. So everything Jalen Hurts did last year means shit this year too, right, Quan? Try to keep that as a memory bank. And in your memory bank, when you're talking about 2023, can't have it both ways, kid. Can't have it both ways. So when you reference last year and how we did, it's irrelevant. Try to be consistent with that at least. Tell me to be. Why don't you be? Heineke was 17 of 19, 211 and a pick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, at the end of the day, okay, how many turnovers does Jalen have this year? This is going to come down to turnovers, whether or not that game's close. If the Eagles turn the ball over, if the Eagles have, for it to be a 28-20 game, the Eagles have to have 3 turnovers. If the Eagles have no turnovers, when you agree, Tone, Hurts had 4 turnovers through 3 games. He has 4 turnovers. Wouldn't you agree, everyone, Tone? If the Eagles have no turnovers, it's 31-17. If there's 3 turnovers in the ball game, it's a 28-20 Eagle win. Okay, I don't believe they're going to have 4 turnovers. I'm not saying they are, but last year there were turnovers in that game and why they won. Okay, and like I said, even with the 4 turnovers, I still don't think they have enough talent. 34-21. I'll tell you something. I heard Tone say something earlier, and it was spot on. Was spot on, Tone. The Commanders have Sweat and Allen, McLaurin. Anybody in the O-line? I don't know. Some decent backs, a decent safety. Their talent is spread out with holes all over the joint. You know what I mean? It's like they're not like a group. They don't have a good group. Their receivers are probably their best group. Heineke threw for 170. Yeah, pedestrian. Okay, right? Here, watch this. Look at the Eagles. Look at the entire left side from the center out in the O-line. Kelsey, Dickerson, Malata, Goddard, Brown. Shit, dude. That's like a fortress. How many? Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler. Where on that team in Washington do they have any of that? Maybe the 2 tackles. They got ran on. Okay? They got ran on. I want to throw this at you guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, before we get into week 4 here, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think Lane Johnson's playing this year? I'm going to get to those games, Maniac, I promise. On a scale of 1 to 10, 7 or 8. It says Tone. I'm going to go Neil with you, 7. Okay? I mean, they've not been, the whole group, but I think the group is getting hammered for the lack of pass probe from the running backs. If you really look at the old line, it's not horrible. Okay? It's not horrible. But Lane has not played Lane Johnson football. He's just not. Do you think Swift, a Pro Bowler? Sports radio, right now, he's trending that way. And that's why I say 3 games. He's trending that way. He sure looks like he's trending that way. Okay? But could it possibly be that the ineffective play of Cam Jurgens next to him is causing some of that inefficiency that you're seeing in Lane? Remember something. A defensive line doesn't have to have continuity. It has it now between those two, Jordan and Carter. You're getting that. Usually, do you think there's continuity in Los Angeles with Aaron Donald and whoever the hell he's playing next to? You could have one guy wreak havoc on defense. You could totally have one guy wreak havoc. Every guy can get blocked. Aaron Donald break loose, sack the quarterback, you can win the game. You have one offensive lineman F up, the entire unit suffers. Missed the slip block, guy breaks underneath, guy makes a tackle for loss. Everyone else did their job. One guy didn't. The entire play shut down. Right? Playing O-line is a lot tougher than playing D-line. You got to be more athletic on that side. But, dude, you can do your job completely. And one guy break down, it F's the entire unit up. I think Lane and Jurgens may have some growing pains to get through. Sayamalo and Brandon Brooks have been next to Lane for a long time. That's right, man. Dude, when you got the same group and you got the same dudes, remember what something, and I think maybe some of you have forgotten this. Remember what Lane said about Sayamalo, smartest player ever played with? Like you just can't ignore a comment like that. That, you got a guy out of position, and some of that, when he missed that block, or it seemed he missed that assignment in the New England game, I wonder if he was covering for Jurgens. Because he blocked down, Jurgens went away, and there was a gap. The guy came up and sacked Hurts in the backfield. And he blocked down, and you saw he made the wrong call, and he had to get back out. It was too late. Now, was that on him? Or was it on he's covering for somebody because somebody may have missed their assignment? Remember, he's a brand new guy at a brand new position. He's a center. This is not high school football where you can plug a guy in anywhere. Okay? So, and again, I'm not telling you the guy sucks. I'm telling you that when you have a unit like you had last year, that every guy from right tackle to left tackle could be considered a Pro Bowler, and there's no flaws in your game across the board, you take one guy out of that cog, it's a different unit. It's a completely different unit. Okay? Nolan Smith should get more playing time. You got to earn playing time. Sills, did you hear Chris Sims said about the tush play? He said, go for the quarterback's head. I understood what he meant. People who don't understand what he meant thought he meant it literally. I had no problem with what he said. None. I had no problem with it. I'd say the same thing. You got to take that guy out. Any means necessary. Do I actually mean give the guy a concussion and hurt the kid and want the guy permanently damaged? Absolutely not. Why do I have to explain that to people? Why do you really have to have that explained to you like that? Are you that much of a child that you need to have that explained to you, that Sims didn't mean to give the guy a concussion? I hope I don't, because you can't be that simple. There was a key block versus Tampa where the Bucs blitzed Lane's side with the DB. Jurgens slid and picked up the pass rusher in the B gap, while Lane picked up the DB in the C gap. It shows their communication has taken a step forward. Okay. Especially with that group. Okay. Especially with that group, because the Bucs did, like I said, that's a Super Bowl winning defense. They won a Super Bowl. I mean, that's a really good effort in running the ball versus the Bucs. Absolutely, man. You will not take anything away from that. 2 years ago, that team won a Super Bowl with that group. They did a great job on them. James says, of course you didn't mind. James, go back to playing flag football. It's all good, man. It's okay. You go play Nerf football. It's okay. I get it. It's all right. Or go to the library. Get your library card, and it's all good, man. Go check some books out or something. I don't know. Hey, you just go to the library and check some books out. I don't know what else to say to you, man. Of course you do. Like Tone said yesterday, you guys want these guys to be warriors, but you want to take the warrior out of the gladiator. Okay. Oh, dude, I don't root for anybody. I told you that. Good. Crid Sims sucked at football. Yeah, that's why he got $18 million from the Bucks. The Bucks gave that guy $18 million after he threw for 375 yards with a ruptured spleen. Sims had a ruptured spleen, and he threw for 375 for the Bucks. He wasn't great. Okay, he wasn't great. Okay. Hey, no way, Lucius. Half the room is soft. What's the library? From what I understand, it's a place you go and return your books, like after you get them in college, and then they pay you for I don't know. Hey, every time I used to turn my books in, it used to have that one thing with all the books in it, Did you ever open it? Nah. Did you ever open it? Hey, Tone, here was my classroom. Always go here. Anybody who's going to school, here's a little bit of insight from Big Sills to help you get through college. Always take a class that you have a blue book. Midterm, final. No attendance. And it's tiered. And you got about 200 kids in the class. This is how I would do it. How many kids are in this class? 150? Perfect. Hey, Tone, blue book? Perfect. Midterm, final. How many guys are in class? 250. Great. Sign me up. What is it? Genealogy. I don't care what that means. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't really care. Astronomy. Great. Hey, Tone's like blue book classes were so. Oh, are you kidding me? Fundamental wood shop. 300 people. Midterm final blue book. Sign me up. Yeah. Sign me up. Oh, love it, man. Oh. Hey, Neil, you guys went to classes at Miami? Neil, one horrible story about Big Sills at Miami getting caught cheating. Tone, I don't believe you've heard this one. The wrath of Jimmy Johnson was horrific. Hey, Tyler, I could not pass statistics. I had all my requirements. I could not pass statistics. Okay? And this is the guy that I ended up painting the fence with. So, but hang on. So I decided to do this. I'm writing all the answers because what they did was they gave you like a book and shit and told you what the answers were. You just had to remember them. I mean, complete jackass. I'm writing the numbers here, man. I got paper tied to me. I'm late to get to the class. There's only one chair left, and it's in the front, right in front of the teacher. So I'm sitting here like this in the front of the class. I got my hands on the desk because the shit's right under me. He's looking at me, and he goes, it was like a scene out of Spies Like Us. You know that scene where they're taking the test to become like spies or some shit? And the guy takes the shit out of his mouth, and the teacher's looking at it, and he's just going like this. And I'm just going like this. Oh, my God, I think he got me. Sure enough, he goes, and I go, no. I go, no. He goes, go like this. And I went, he goes like this. Okay. So I show up to practice that afternoon. Jimmy Johnson comes up to me and he goes, I just got a call from your statistics teacher, Gary Stevens. I go, Yeah. He said that you got caught cheating. Usually get expelled for that. And I go, he had to go down there, kiss the guy's ass and the dean of the department. He comes back after this whole scene. I'm practicing. Start running. Where? I don't care where you run. Just start running. To where? I don't care if you run to downtown Miami. Just start running. I went with my pads on. He goes, yeah. With my cleats? I don't care where you run. You could run on Miracle Mile. You could run. I don't give a shit if you run to the Everglades. Right, Neil? You could run to Cuba. I don't care where you go. And I went like this. I go, so you want? I go, start running. Or you'll never stop running. I go like this. I'm running down Miracle Mile in my helmet and shoulder pads. It must be 6:30 at night. I'm getting into downtown Miami. Cadillac pulls up next to me. Get in the car. That was the, hey, man. And this is Mr. Stats. Hey, it was a very interesting life, to say the least, at the University of Miami for Big Sills. That's a guy who had to go paint his fence at the end of the day when he said show up in shorts and a T-shirt and one of them Italian T-shirt things. I'm like, I'm not doing anything that would cause me to be embarrassed with myself. He goes, show up in shorts, and I want to see an Italian T-shirt on you. I was like, listen, guy, I'm not doing anything. And, he goes, do you want to go to the Fiesta Bowl? Yeah, but I don't know. Oh, man. All right. Enough with that. Hey, now you know what Coach Prime's going through, right? Oh, man. All right. Let's get into the games this coming week for week 4. Oh, God. Believe me, my poor aunt and my grandmother and my grandfather had to put up with all that BS. Do you want to go to the Fiesta Bowl? Sounds highly suggestive. Really? Tone, I didn't know what I go, listen here. When I showed up the next day, it was 90 humidity, 98 degrees. There I am sitting with shorts like Daisy Dukes. And I'm going like this. Would I do that? I really want to play in that bowl game. Hey, don't. I really want to play in that bowl game. Oh my God. I did do that. I really want to play in this bowl game. How far will I go? Hey, Football Friday. How you doing? Oh God. Okay. Hey, let's do this with week 4. Let's start off here. Please, let me get out of this. Oh God. Before I cut my own throat. Or wait, that's probably too real for you, right? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, how many people are buying the Lions now as a true contender? How many people are buying the Lions? Do you need to see a little more ball from them? Okay. Yeah, Maxon, how about this? You're in Seattle, you lose an OT, you win in Kansas City, and you win at Lambeau. Are you kind of sold that they're good? Yeah, you know what? Okay, thank you, Hollywood. Arthur goes, Lions look like a playoff team. Health and all that, you're playing with health. Yes. Yes. Let's see if they can learn to live with the hype, and play with the hype and look, I don't think I think the Lions are in Dallas's league right now. Dallas has got to show me this is a big game against New England. Can I tell you, if Dallas goes in and beats the hell out of New England, I think it's in Dallas because they're honoring Zeke. If they beat the hell out of New England, that'll kind of put me back on track with them. But again, here, if Dallas beats New England up, will I trust them still? No, because Arizona is a bad taste. I don't know if you're am I right when I say this to you guys? Am I right when I say this to you about Dallas? Dallas has such a bad taste off that Arizona game. The only way that they're going to take that taste out of their mouth is if they win a playoff game that puts them in the NFC Championship game. Is that fair? Right? Because Arizona's got to be that's a dumb loss, man. Okay, that's a dumb loss. So I'm buying them. Atlanta, Jacksonville. I can't think the Jags. I can't think the Jags are gonna go to 1-3 on the season. I don't see it. It's in Jacksonville. Houston went in there, beat the doorknobs off them. I'm going to say they're going to play with some tightness in this game. Jacksonville bounces back versus Atlanta. I got this thing here at 27-21. Jacksonville. Here it is. Miami, Buffalo. In Buffalo. Buffalo has been playing great football since that Jets disaster. Miami has been putting on, some of you maybe, Tone, I think you will remember this. Is this the best offense we've seen since the greatest show on turf? See, I don't think that that's true because they don't have a Marshall Faulk on their team. I mean, that team had two fabulous wideouts, a running back, and a quarterback, right? Kurt Warner. Okay. You think this is a high-scoring game? You got Vic Fangio versus Sean McDermott. I'm going to say 26-24 Buffalo. 26-24 Buffalo. I don't think that thing is going to be as high scoring as you think. Okay? It's in It's in London. Okay, thank you, Lucius. I didn't realize it was in London. Bills played three awful teams. Finns win 27-20. Denver at Chicago. Good night. Hey, do you agree if Russell Wilson doesn't put on a show versus Chicago, it's time to bench him? Do you agree? Right? He's got to put a show on here. Or I think Peyton benches him. Okay? So I'm going to say this. Chicago's terrible. 28-17. I'm going to take Denver in Chicago. Now, I don't know if Lamar Jackson is playing He's listed as question, or is it Deshaun Watson that's listed as questionable? This week is the Toy Story game. I think it's Watson who hasn't thrown a pass this week, right? I don't think it's Lamar. I think it's Watson. Raven wide receivers out with injury. OBJ and Batman Browns may snag that win. Isn't it Watson, though? That was the guy that was questionable for the game, right? So this just may be the battle of attrition here. And Watson may not, so it's Watson that may not play. If he plays, and I'm probably thinking he's going to play, he's got to play. I'm going to go Cleveland because they still have that run game. Cleveland's got the second best offensive line in the NFL. Watson threw 3 passes all week in practice. Damn, man. I'm gonna go Cleveland 26-24 and a close one. What's the record for Cincinnati right now? Is it 1-2? Watson said he's playing great. Cincinnati, are they 0-2 or 1-2? They won. Oh, they won on Monday night. They beat the Rams. So they're 1-2. Can't go 1-3. Season's over in the AFC. They can't lose this game. Tennessee's going to run the ball at Cincinnati. And dude, Ryan Tannehill is like a swing. You know, he's like a seesaw, up and down, up and down, up and down. Cincinnati on the road gets this win. You got to think, again, I guess the calf or the Achilles of Joe Burrow. I'll say 26-17. I'll go Cincinnati here. Rams in Indianapolis. From what I understand, Anthony Richardson's playing in this game, correct? What if Shane Steichen gets that team to 3-1? Hey, I'm going to say this. I think it is possible with the Rams. How about this? If Shane Steichen gets that Colts team to 3-1 and the Eagle game's close, and we're still talking about the offense being inconsistent, do we then start making the rounds on this one? Okay, Steichen's a loss. The size an upgrade. Would that be a narrative Monday? If Washington game is close, I'm not saying it's going to be. It should be 31-17. Okay? Okay? It should be 31-17. But I don't think you got good play calling going on right now. So when we go like this, man, Shane Steichen, dude. Okay? You know that running back that they have in there? Didn't that kid Moss go for 100 yards last week? Didn't he go for 100 yards? Didn't they have a back last week go for 100 yards? Okay? Man, I don't know how the Rams are even. Good coaching. 23-21 Indianapolis. Colts go to 3-1 on the year. One of the surprises of the season. I'm going to take the Colts at home. Tampa Bay has everybody hurt. I'm taking New Orleans in this. New Orleans always plays big against the Bucs. Don't ask me why it's gone on forever. 32-17. I'll take New Orleans. Minnesota, Carolina. Boy, Minnesota's terrible. There's even talks of potentially trying to move. They're not moving Justin Jefferson. They're going to be in the market for another quarterback. I'm going to take Carolina at home. 24-21. about Pittsburgh, Houston? CJ Stroud. How many people are sold on Kenny Pickett? I'm not. I don't think he's very good. I didn't think he was very good at Pitt. I don't think Kenny Pickett's good. Yeah, I think I'm with Tone on this one. I don't like Kenny Pickett. Okay? I just don't. So I'm going to take the upset and take Houston here. Hey, how about the way Ryans is coaching that team? Good for him, man. Shitty roster, and he's winning. Good for him. That's spectacular. 28-14. I don't think Pittsburgh's offense is that hot. Raiders versus Rams. Hey, how about this one? So you're really going to play the Raider game at SoFi Stadium? Let me get this right. The NFL thought it would be a good thing to put the Raiders in Los Angeles versus the home team Rams. Now, were you doing that? Were you doing that because you thought it was a good matchup? Or were you doing that because you knew that the Raider fans are going to be 3-1 at SoFi Stadium? I mean, you think, hey, there's not more Rams and Charger fans combined than what the Raider fans have in LA. There are more Raider fans in LA than Charger and Ram fans combined. You got to be crazy, man. I mean, dude, the Raiders are going to take that thing over, and it's going to be – I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. And I'm going to take the Raiders. Is it right? Is it Chargers? My bad. It's the Chargers, right? Detroit receiver Jameson Williams had his suspension shortened. He'll be available. Wow, week 5. Wow. Yeah, that's all the Lions now need. So Jameson Williams is coming back after week 5. Wow. Okay. New England at Dallas. New England at Dallas. Who do you got in this game? Raiders play Chargers. Oh, my God. What a mess. That's a mess. Oh, my God. Dallas in a close one. Who do you got? Who do you got in this one? Give me a score. Give me a score for this one. New England, Dallas. Do I think Dallas will confuse Dak Prescott more than they did Jalen? Yeah. I saw Jonathan Gannon do it. If Jonathan Gannon can confuse Dak, what's Belichick going to do? Don't you guys see that? So Belichick confused Jalen. Jalen's a smart dude, man. Part of his great ability is how smart the guy is. You know, if I was going to talk about Jalen Hurts, I would start with how smart he is and all the things he does to all of that. You're not going to really confuse that dude. Okay? You may confuse the entire unit, but but Jonathan Gannon, he threw things at Dak he didn't see. I'm going to do this. I think they're going to run the ball on Dallas. Arizona did. New England was pretty good running the ball on Philly. And it wasn't great. But Dallas was trucked by a lesser team. I'm going to take New England. 18-16. Dak has 3 turnovers. New England wins that game. Then you'll have holy hell to hear on Monday. Arizona, San Francisco. 38-10. San Fran. Kansas City Jets. So am I right? Tyler Swift's going to be there. Okay, so Tyler Swift's going to be there. That's an extra 3 points for KC. Might even be a 7-point love, right? Kansas City, right? Maybe 7. Hey, is Swift, does Taylor Swift give Kansas City 7 or 3 versus the Jets? What do you think? How many, right? So I say KC, that's an extra 7. I don't know. 39-17. Seattle on Monday night versus the Giants. 28-7. Giants are frauds. All right. Dude, we're getting closer to ball, man. I can't wait for this weekend. Hey, man, I can't wait for Colorado. I'm going to tell you, too, what I think of that Colorado SC game. So get this, LeBron. Hey, did you guys hear this? LeBron James, Kevin Durant, a bunch of the other superstar NBA guys are going to be on the sidelines. I think Dion said half the NBA is going to be on the sidelines for this game. I mean, you're going to have every hip-hop star and every NBA guy on the sidelines supporting Deion Sanders in Colorado. Man, do I want to play for Colorado? That's so cool. Scott, you're missing it. Once again, Scott, you miss it. Colorado's mediocre. That's the point. You're a nationally televised game because of Deion Tiger Sanders. Hour number 3. Do me a favor, guys. Our good friends, once again, over with Hooters, man. NortheastHooters.com. You got to do me a great favor. Please log on to NortheastHooters.com. Find one of the 7 locations nearest to you, and for you to experience what we've been talking about. By the way, if you don't want to go into any of the places, go HootersToGo.com. Also, enjoy our 40-year traditions. Like Tuesdays, buy 10 wings, get 10 boneless free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983, all you can eat. Kids eat for free on Saturdays. Specials they have, all the great happy hour specials. NortheastHooters.com. That's NortheastHooters.com to find one of the 7 locations nearest you. Hour 3 coming up. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.